Hey Danny, I'm trying to like simultaneously do this on Instagram. I don't know. I'm on live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram at the same time. So this is my first time doing anything like this. Um yeah, just getting set up. I hopped on a couple minutes early just to make sure. Want to make sure this is streaming onto Facebook as well, which it is. Cool. So I'm using StreamYard, which I stole from Steven Morales and Brent Daniels. So I guess this is on Facebook Live and YouTube Live and Instagram Live. So here we are. This is the first of many weekly live webinars. So when I went on Brent Daniels' podcast last week, he was just like, dude, you are like sleeping on a whole other side of what you could be doing. Why aren't you regularly going live on YouTube? Why aren't you regularly going live on Facebook and Instagram and kind of just being more consistent with it? And somebody commented on my YouTube channel last week. They were like, I thought you deserted your YouTube channel. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. I heard it like 3 times in a row. So I need to just be serious and get on it. So obviously, I'm a virtual wholesaler. You guys know me. If you don't know me, my name is Toddy. I am a virtual wholesaler. Virtual wholesaling, if you follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, I'm sure you know what it is. We get properties under contract by direct to seller marketing in multiple ways: texting, calling, lots of internet methods. You get the deal under contract, you sell it to somebody who wants to invest in a property, and you make the in between money. That's virtual wholesaling. And that's what I started doing when I first started investing in real estate. Since then, I have done some wholesales, like smaller flips, bought properties, have rental properties. And I think wholesaling is an amazing way to get into real estate, to build up your bank account, to give you the lifestyle you want. I just moved out here to Miami. I got my dream car in 2021 after wholesaling for like 9 months, which for me, I'm a mom, so it wasn't like a Ferrari or anything. It was just a Audi Q5. But as you grow, you want to do bigger and better things, and wholesaling is an amazing way to make that happen. I started helping people in 2021 with their virtual wholesaling businesses, and it's gone really great. It's really cool to be able to help people do the same thing that I did, which was kind of starting from the bottom. You could say I was a waitress. COVID hit, I got laid off. I'm a mom, I'm a single mom, so everything's on me. So when that happened, I had to figure it out, and that's what led me to getting in that YouTube wormhole of how can I make money online. And that's what led me to virtual wholesaling. I started seeing all the people like TTP, Brent Daniels, Cody Sperber, the clever investor, just all these people who are like all big all over YouTube. The flip man, he was always really funny. And I'm watching what these people are saying. It didn't sound that complicated. I'm like, all right. I call people, I ask them if they want to sell their house. And then I find someone who wants to buy a house. That doesn't sound too complicated. And I did 6 deals. I netted 38K my first month. Well, I got paid out about 4 weeks later, but basically built up that pipeline. And I just been continuing. Not every month is that. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's more. So I think just getting in line, getting into the flow of who you are, and why you do the things you want to do, what gets you up in the morning, and then actually getting up in the morning and doing these daily marketing tactics. Right now, we are in our July virtual wholesale 30 session. It's so dope because we have this daily accountability group that we just started this week, and it's cool to see people hopping in and out of that group marketing. One girl, she's like the star right now. She's got 2 properties under contract already, and it's just such a blessing because seeing people ask me a question like, do you think I could ever really do this? Or is this real? Those types of questions where people aren't really believing. Seeing people go from that to like, oh my God, I'm talking to a seller. Oh my God, I got this deal under contract. Oh my God, I found a buyer. Oh my God, I got paid. It's like me reliving that first deal over and over and over. My first deal, I cried. I sat in the car. I felt like I was like levitating when I saw the wire deposit. All of my deals have been wires. I've gotten one physical check. That was just because I wanted to. But all my deals have been wires. My first deal, when I got that wire, I literally just like looked at it and cried, and I felt like I was floating. And it's so amazing to be able to relive that Not only is it amazing because people get to change their life forever financially, but it also makes me super motivated to continue doing what I'm doing. You know, when my students say, "Oh, I got a deal under contract," that makes me want to hop on the phone and talk to more sellers. It's so motivating because I'm naturally a competitive person. So we push each other. And I think that's the beautiful part about this virtual wholesale community. I want to grow this community, which is why I'm doing this YouTube, why I'm doing this Facebook, Instagram stuff. You know, it's not like I don't have a full plate running a virtual wholesaling business and having two kids and basically doing most of it alone, you know? So it's not like I don't have a full plate already. Why I do this, why I create content, why I push others is because I want to create a community. Doesn't it suck to be the only one in your family, friends, social circle, people you grew up with that has this like intense desire, obsession for whatever it is that you want? Maybe it's more, maybe it's comfort, maybe it's stability, maybe it's quitting your job. How can you go to your job every day and you want to quit your job and all your coworkers are comfortable there? You end up feeling alone. You don't have a community. You don't have people you can talk to about the things that we can talk to each other about. You had a tough conversation with the seller. You don't have anyone you can turn to who will understand and give you advice about that. I was able to create my own community because of Instagram, because of people like you guys DMing me. Devin just said facts right now. Devin is somebody me and him talk. And I'm gonna post something he made for me the other day, a really great testimonial. But Devin took my crash course, and we chat sometimes about how tough it is. You know, I've made friends and through this business. One of my friends, Destiny, I met her when I was pregnant with my daughter, trying to do this business. I was struggling. I was emotionally, really emotionally distressed, but I knew I couldn't stop marketing, and that's my motto in life is like never stop marketing. So throughout that, I'm talking to sellers and I'm like getting off the phone and crying about what's going on in my personal life. And then I'm getting back into the field of real estate. And then I'm getting off the calls and I'm boohoo crying about whatever's going on, you know? And it's like you end up feeling really isolated and alone. I met Destiny, who was pregnant at the same time as me, and she was also trying to do her virtual wholesaling business or her wholesaling business. And I had already done a bunch of deals. I'm like 6 months in, and I'm just texting her back tips and tricks, and we're talking about our life. And um, since, dude, she's been killing it. She's done like 30K, 80K, like crazy, crazy deals. And it took her and her man like a year to really get it. But that's why it doesn't really matter if you've been researching in the research phase. Jim, he was in the research phase for 2 years before we met. And now he's doing deals every month. You know, it doesn't matter if you were in the research phase. We call it the research phase, but let's call it what it is, the bullshit phase. You're bullshitting. You don't really want to start, you know, you're scared, fear phase, whatever you want to call it. While you're in that phase, you're learning, but you're not implementing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've been doing that for 5 years. Stop, get that out of your head that this is not something you can do, or this is something you've been learning about but never implementing. You can start something and not like it and move on. You can start something and research it for years and actually start doing it. It doesn't matter. It's time to do it. If you don't want to do wholesaling, unfollow all the people that you're following. Sorry if the internet connection's bad. I'm on like a bunch of devices doing this, but if you decided like, okay, I'm in the research phase way too long, I don't want to do wholesaling anymore, then just unfollow all the people that are doing wholesaling and move on to something else that makes more sense for you. Don't get stuck in this like research phase thing. But if you have been in the research phase for a long time, you don't have to be stuck there. You know, there's tons of resources. So I have my YouTube back up here. I know I'm not the hot wholesale anymore. Now I'm the hot hustle. I changed it because I wasn't just wholesaling. And then you guys know wholesaling has this like negative connotation to it. But I pulled this up because as we do this Q&A, if you guys have like a deeper question, I want to point you guys to a video that I already have on here that can help you through that. Because I spent a lot of time making these videos, and I really do feel like I've touched on almost every single subject about virtual wholesaling that you would really need to start your business. And I go super in depth in a lot of things. And I know everybody doesn't have time to sit here and watch every video on my YouTube channel. Part of the reason why wholesaling is such an amazing business is because you can do it in between your life if you actually do it every day. So I want to kind of go over virtual wholesaling, the simple steps. I want to do Q&A, and I definitely want to point you guys to more resources to help you in your business so that Next week, when we meet up for our workshop, this is kind of more of an introduction, but I'm going to be doing this every Tuesday at 11. Next week, when we meet up for our workshop, maybe you've gotten a little bit deeper. Maybe you will have some more questions, or maybe you'll have figured something out that had jumped, like that one thing that was tripping you up, and you'll be marketing and you'll be giving me stories. And this is free game. So let's get into it. My systems, my softwares, all that. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions about things like that, but I just want you guys to know it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what dialer you use or where you get your list from. It just matters that you're doing the actions of marketing every day. As you continue to wholesale, you will start to learn different resources. I've been to masterminds where I've spent $3,500, $5,000, $7,000. So I've spent a lot of money figuring out all of this stuff, right? So that's just things that you do once you're in the business, you're making money, and you decide, I'm going to reinvest in myself. For now, if you're just getting started, I have all the resources in the description. Propstream, get the Propstream free trial, because that's where you can pull lists for just $99 a month. You can get 10,000 leads. Skiptracing, I have a Skiptracing link there. All you need is to get your list, to skip trace that list, and to put it in a dialer. Somebody asked me about batch dialer. I don't use batch dialer. I'm not a big fan of batch products right now, but that might change. I don't know. But I love Propstream. I use Smart Dialer for my team, and I used Phone Burner when I started, and I was just cold calling by myself. I use Phone Burner. It's a simple single line dialer. You pay $150 a month, and you have like 10,000 leads you can call a month, and it's very simple, and it works for a one person team. I'm getting a lot of comments on everything, so I'm gonna try to address the comments. Let's fucking go. Yes, Luis LFG, let's go. Love it. So thank you. Excited. Let's go. And I'm going to be addressing the Instagram people, the Facebook, everybody. So comment, private chat, whatever you got to do. We're going to get as much as we can answered. It's 11:11 on the East Coast. Everybody make a wish. All right. I made my wish. Can't tell you guys what it is. But yeah, Teresa, to address that's why I didn't like batch. I feel like it glitches a lot. And then they have these things like batch leads where you can get the property information. I just felt like it was very inferior to Propstream as far as like the information being correct and accurate. So that was really frustrating to me all the time. And I ended up just giving up on batch leads. You guys probably saw that in my story last week. Canceled. I always have used Propstream, even when they took off MLS comps. So just going to stick with that. So DNA investors, you have a few deals that you need help moving. DM me so we can get together and just like say deals or something so it can stick out. All right. So Tati, is it possible to thrive in a virtual market without boots on the ground starting out? No. So boots on the ground, and I can show you guys the boots on the ground video too, because this is really important. This is the boots on the ground video. The picture says boots on the ground, the secret sauce. So this is the YouTube video. It's 21 minutes. So I go really in depth in that video. You need boots on the ground. Even more so than just needing boots on the ground, you guys, you got to be making relationships with the boots on the ground, because there's a difference between somebody going into the house and taking pictures for you versus somebody who actually gives a damn about what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. If you pay somebody $50 on TaskRabbit or whatever, and they go get pictures, they send you the pictures and say, oh, it was a scary house, thanks, bye. Versus my boots on the ground who goes to the house, takes the pictures and says, oh, there's something wrong with the foundation, the roof, the electrical box looked like it was teared up, the AC unit was stolen. And now you get details about the house that the seller probably wouldn't tell you. So to me, in my opinion, it's impossible to thrive in a virtual market without boots on the ground, because who is going to be that point of contact between you and the seller? Not only for pictures, but for showings, for information about the property. Sometimes the sellers don't want to sign a contract over the internet. So instead of trying to find a TaskRabbit, a mobile notary, instead of trying to find all these different people who are going to do these one-off things for you and have no relationship with you, find someone you can pay consistently at the best month I had, my boots on the ground probably made like 6 or 7 grand just working with me, period. Like helping me close deals, doing the photos for a bunch of deals. He is so valuable. He literally has some leads and does acquisitions in between everything else he does too. And this is just somebody I found off Craigslist. So there's no reason to avoid getting a boots on the ground, honestly. Um, Post on Craigslist, labor and gigs, it's $3 to $5, and go through those people. If you're in a new virtual market, spend time on the phone talking to these people, because if you don't, you're not going to know enough about the market, and you're not going to know all the details that come with the house if you don't get a boots on the ground. So for in-depth talk about boots on the ground, I have boots on, how to use real estate, how to wholesale real estate virtually, use boots on the ground. That's one video. And then I know I have another one because I recorded a conversation that I had with my boots on the ground. Here we go. Virtual wholesaling secret, how to get boots on the ground. So those are the 2 boots on the ground YouTube videos I have. Check it out. I'm going to try to answer a question on. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for thanking me. You don't have to thank me. And yeah, everybody connect with each other. There's a ton of people on Instagram right now. There's 30 people on Instagram. There's 17 people on Facebook, YouTube. So you guys, you see each other commenting, hopping on, connect with each other, because JV deals are great. JV deals are a stream of income that you can do if you do them right. All right, next question. Do you have a video on small town wholesaling? I don't suggest small town wholesaling. If you're virtually wholesaling, if you're in person, you can definitely wholesale in small towns. You're going to find your local investors. You can definitely make money. If you are a virtual wholesaler, you guys, I live here. I wholesale wherever I want. There's no reason for you to pick a market that's going to be hard. And that's something that I always preach to my students, the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance is how can you get from point A to point B in the easiest way for you. If you've never done a deal, don't make it harder than it already is. If you've never done a deal, pick a market that makes sense. And if you need help picking a market, go to the link in my Instagram bio. I have a Picking Your Virtual Market webinar that I made just for this. It's totally free. And you guys can use that information to help you pick your virtual market. Don't do a rural area. If you do one deal in a rural area virtually, you're going to be lucky and it's going to be hard to do more. You're going to feel stuck, and then you're going to be doing everything you had to do for that market for a new market anyway. And it's not easy. And if you have taken my crash course or you're in my virtual wholesale 30 program, you know that it's not easy. You got to set up the framework for your business, talk to boots on the ground, talk to a bunch of people, spend that time. You don't want to do that a bunch of times hopping in markets. So don't do small towns if you can help it. If you live in a small town, you can do it. Wanda said she's in Houston, Texas. Where am I? So Ohio, North Carolina, Baltimore, Florida, Georgia, and I do help in Texas. I can help in all 50 states. I have a relationship with a broker who helps me leverage realtors in the MLS. So that's why I always tell you guys, JV with me. I have some really dope people that I work with. And once you guys connect with me, I'm super transparent. I'll tell you, hey, my guy, Steve in Georgia, my guy, Con in North Carolina, whoever I work with in those markets, we're going to all, you know what I mean, be a team, and we're going to get the deals done. So definitely all 50 states, we can JV if it's a deal. I got a lead in Washington yesterday, and my guy in Washington's looking at it right now. So it's like we have buyers everywhere, and we have connections and relationships with brokers everywhere, realtors everywhere, wholesalers everywhere. This is why the power of social media is so amazing. So connect with me and let me be a connector to help get these deals sold. And if you want to JV with me, you guys, I have a link in my bio. It says partner with me JV lead form. Just make sure that you put your information in the notes and the seller's information in the seller, because it gets way too confusing. So it's a seller lead form. It's all the seller's info. at the bottom, your name and number. And if you submit a lead and I text you or call you, I'll text you. I'm not going to call you. If you submit a lead and then I text you, please text me back. Like, we took time to comp it, call the person, do the legwork. I get it. We're all busy, but at least just be like, hey, all right, cool. If it's not a deal, it's not a deal. If it is a deal, we need to work together. I've even closed a deal and couldn't get back with the person. And it's like, what, I'm just going to do the deal by myself. Like, no, be responsive. Let's get these deals done. And it just shows me, how invested people are in their own business if you're sending a lead and then disappearing. Devin asked on Instagram, what is the best way to get pictures with renters inside? So I always like to tell the seller, because sometimes they'll use that as like an excuse to not allow you to get pictures. We have to do 2 walkthroughs. There's no way. We need to do a walkthrough to check the condition, and we need to do a final walkthrough before we purchase to make sure it's in the same condition. At least minimum 2 walkthroughs every time. So if there is tenants, to make them feel better, we're okay with doing the walkthrough, saying we're just doing an insurance inspection, we're doing a refinance inspection. There's a lot of different avenues that you can go, but just saying that we're doing a certain type of inspection and not buying the property. A lot of owners, sellers will say like, oh, we don't want them knowing we're selling because they might get scared, they might not pay rent, which, if they don't, it's all besides the point. You just have to be strong in that we need 2 walkthroughs, unless the seller is going to give us the first initial photos and then we just do one big showing. It is tough to navigate that when in those situations where you have to do one big showing with all the buyers, which is why, again, it's so important to have boots on the ground when you're virtual wholesaling. Your boots on the ground needs to be able to go kind of run interference. Of course, you're going to pay them more for doing things like that, but that's just something you work out with them. Benjamin on IG said, how long does it take to normally close a deal? It depends on your buyer and how they're closing the deal. If they're using cash, it could be a few days. I have a deal I assigned on Sunday. Hopefully we'll close Friday. But if they're using hard money, it could take 2 weeks. If they're using different kinds of loans, it could take 4 weeks. If title takes a long time, it really varies, but between 2 to 6 weeks, I think, is typical. So, question from YouTube. What type of document do you use when sending an offer to a virtual market? Letter of intent or purchase and sale? I use a purchase and sale agreement. I send it on DocuSign. I just keep it really simple. Letter of intent, I would only use that for a larger multifamily, commercial, or mobile homes, businesses, things like that. Mighty Savage, my thought about this whole thing is that the seller signs, you then find a buyer, sign agreement with them, send the assignment contract with the buyer and the seller to the attorney. So yeah, basically. So Mighty Savage, I will tell you which YouTube video I really go over. So there's a couple. So the first YouTube video that you guys need to watch is going to be, let me see. So watch wholesaling contract terms, who pays what, because I'm breaking down the contracts and everything on them and who pays what. So you're right. So you have, but the only thing you're wrong about is you send the assignment contract with the buyer and seller. So the assignment contract, so you have one document, that's your purchase and sale agreement. Your seller signs that to you. So that'll say, okay, Toddy is buying Savage's house, right? Then you have another document, which is the assignment, second one. That's between you and the seller, where you're assigning your rights to buy this house to this person. So Savage is selling the house to Toddy, and Toddy is assigning the right to buy the house to John. Now, at the end, the title company gets these 2 documents, and John essentially will buy the house and pay for the house, but you're just in the middle. So depending on if you're doing an assignment, that's how it would go. If you're doing a double close, then you'd say, Toddy's purchasing the house from Savage, we're closing on it, purchase and sale agreement. The other agreement would be John is buying the house from Toddy, purchase sale agreement. Keep in mind, if you do this, the deed will transfer into your name for a moment, which kind of changes the type of taxable event it is. So I don't want to get too much into that. I dealt with that, doing some big deals, double closing some big deals, and now I got to pay some big fat taxes. So just try to assign when you can. Obviously, we don't want to assign everything because if you're making a big wholesale fee and you don't know your buyer that well, it may not go well. So proceed with caution, but be ready to pay some taxes, I'll say, when you double close. Hey, how do we find a number for a house that's abandoned and only one number to the house that's not working? So you can use True People Search to try to find out people associated with that house. Unfortunately, if you skip trace the owner and they don't have a mailing address, the mailing address is that house, and you look for all these different ways to find them. You True People Search and you talk to their auntie, cousin, sister, brother, and nobody knows how to get a hold of them, then it's just a dead lead. I would never go that deep into a lead personally, but I do have a VA that does some deep diving for us. So honestly, guys, if it's you and you're new, don't dive that deep. Get a big list, call everybody, and just throw spaghetti at the wall until something sticks. Once you start making some money, and this is my opinion, once you start making some money, then you can start thinking about deeper strategies. But I see too many people get stuck in that. I saw this house when I was driving. I need to figure out who owns it, and I need to figure out what's going on with it. And you get so stuck on that one house that you miss out on the 10 houses you could have wholesaled in the meantime. This is about making money. It's not about figuring out that one house. So don't use that strategy. Don't use the small pool strategy unless you're in a small town and you're driving for dollars and that's all you can really do because you're wholesaling there. But that's the beauty of virtual. If your market is not it, just go virtual, go mass, pull big lists and get started. Once you get money, start going to masterminds and start learning more. And that's just my advice, guys. Are you a fan of sub two deals? Yes, yes. We just signed a sub two deal last week, and we're gonna keep it as a rental. So, blowing kisses. This is your YouTube channel we should be watching. So this is on Instagram. This is on YouTube, and yes. So this is my YouTube channel. I pulled this up. Blowing kisses. I pulled this up just so when you guys have a question, I can point you to the right video to watch. That way, we're not going over like 20 minutes on one thing because this is going to be a short live. We got like 15 minutes left. So just to make the best use of this time, if there's a topic I've already covered, I'll point you to the video so you can get an in-depth explanation. Because I literally, from pulling your list to getting paid, I've talked about every step of the process. So if we have some specific, questions, we're doing some Q&A. Danny said, what is the timing of the two walkthroughs? One before the offer, one before what? So I ideally, in the ideal deal, not every deal is going to go like this, but in the ideal deal, we'll agree to price before the first walkthrough. The first walkthrough will be for photos. My personal, pocket buyers that I know that I know this is something that they would want for them. I will have them come to that first walkthrough where we're just getting pictures. And if one of them wants to buy it, even better. We don't really need to do the second walkthrough unless they want a final walkthrough. Say they don't want it, or say I don't have any pocket buyers and we just go to take pictures. Then I market the deal and I try to get as many buyers as I can to go to that second walkthrough. This is only for properties that sellers are difficult. There's tenants. They don't want a bunch of walkthroughs. The ideal situation is put a lockbox on the house. It's a vacant house and buyers can come and go as they please. That doesn't always happen. So that's the reason why we have the two walkthroughs. One to get photos and one to get buyers in. If I have buyers already, they'll come to the photo one. And many times I've sold the deal without having to do that second walkthrough. Next question, how do you close virtually without a title co or closing attorney? You can't. You can't. You need a title company or closing attorney, but you can close virtually with them. They'll use e-documents. They'll send you stuff to get notarized. You can do a quick claim deed. It needs to be wet signatures. So I guess you could overnight quick claim deeds, but buyers don't tend to like to buy quick claim deeds unless they're just that type of buyer, which is rare. Oh, am I scrolling backwards on the comments? What do you mean I'm scrolling backwards? I don't know. Oh, on this? I don't know what you're talking about. Have you used notaries? If so, when are they utilized and are you required to sign anything, especially if it's all being done virtually? I have used notaries. We use notaries on every double closing and then on any purchase. When I use a mobile notary or a notary at UPS store is my favorite. I always post about it when I'm like go in a UPS store. That's usually those deals that I'm actually signing paperwork is because they're double closes. If I have an assignment, I don't have to do all that. But yeah, so I do use notaries during a closing, and I am required to sign, yes. Miss Wanda, how are you doing? What are your thoughts on SMS as opposed to cold calling? So texting is great. You're gonna spend more money and get less leads, but you take out the person factor, so you don't have to manage a VA. I think doing both is the best thing to do, though. All right, let's go to some Instagram questions. Oh, great question. What are things I need to ask cash buyers? So I actually have a free cash buyer script. If you guys go to my Instagram, and if you guys don't know, excuse me, my Instagram is The Hot Hustle. If you're on YouTube, I have it on my little thing right there, Toddy, aka The Hot Hustle. So follow me on Instagram if you don't. In my Instagram bio, cash buyer script is in there. That's all the questions you need to ask cash buyers. Make sure they're not a wholesaler. If they are, tell them you're open to JVs so they can bring their buyers. You guys can build relationships. Nothing wrong with JVing. People feel like, oh, you're leaving money on the table. I JV a lot of my deals. Work out a number that makes sense for you and your JV partner and make money together, because those connections turn into bigger deals later on with those same people. So any tips on getting your first deal from for sale by owner on Zillow when talking to sellers? So actually, I always suggest that if you're totally new and you're nervous about cold calling, to start with FSBOs, because FSBOs are going to be for sale by owner. FSBO are going to be people who already want to sell. You already know the price they want to sell, and they're going to be the hardest people to talk to because they already have that in mind. A lot of times the for sale by owners, they're out there. Obviously, nobody's made them an offer, so they're probably not greatly priced. These people are probably a little stubborn. So you get to practice your sales skills and your closing skills. Nothing wrong with that. Do I have a tip? I would say that my only tip would be, if you're going to be tackling lists that are going to be harder by nature, like for sale by owner or expired MLS, because these people already had this high price in mind that it's not selling for, right? And you got to get them down significantly, enough to be able to still make money and a buyer still want it. So perfect example, if a seller wants 100,000, it's sitting on for sale by owner, and you know that a beautifully renovated house sold for 120,000, they're probably not ever going to get 100,000 from anyone, but for some reason they're stuck on that number, right? For a buyer to buy that deal, you probably need to be under $70,000, $60,000, or even less than that. So you need to get it at like 40 or 50 for something that's up for 100,000. That's a challenge. You already know you're in for a challenge. So sharpen up your closing skills, take an acquisitions course. I suggest Stephen Morales. I have his acquisitions course. It's dope. It's amazing. It's specific to wholesaling, all about closing deals and how to anchor sellers and how to close deals. So invest in something like that. It's not expensive. Get really, really good at sales and attack those lists that are harder. If you do that, it's going to be a breeze talking to sellers. I'm gonna answer one more Instagram. I'm gonna come back to YouTube. Any tips on, do we need to call sellers first before we send you leads to JV? Yes, please don't send me leads you guys haven't talked to. If you guys send a lead, you need to have at least, if it's not a deal already, if you haven't got under contract already, at least the price, the motivation, the timeline, and the condition of the property. So the 4 pillars, all the big guru guys talk about, you guys got to know those things. Please include them in the notes and build some type of rapport so I can come and be a second voice to that conversation if I need to help you close it. If it's just a lead that you're sending me and you've never talked to it, I don't mind you guys doing that, but we're not going to 50-50 JV that. There has to be some value that you're bringing besides a name and an address for it to make sense. So we'll talk about that when we get there. I'm super open to working with you guys where you're at. I'm not like some person up in a freaking tower that's not a real person. I'm a real person. I've been broke for a long time. I know what it's like. So I want to help you. So whatever makes sense, we're going to figure it out together. But at the same time, I'm busy. I have business. I have kids. I got this stuff. So I want to make sure that what I'm doing is worth my time. That's it. I'll help, we'll get it done, and we'll get paid. This is a good question. What are your thoughts on pulling one type of list in every market? I find myself always looking for a new market. I think that's a terrible idea. No, stop. Okay. Don't do that. You know how hard it is to start a new market and really like do well in it? Don't do that. So when I first started, I was totally doing that. So I'm not gonna like bash you or anything. I would be like, all right, I'm gonna start in Oklahoma. I'm gonna start in Wyoming. I'm gonna do this in North Dakota. I'm gonna do this in here. And I'm just like pulling a list, Skiptracing. I'm spending $200 for data. Then I'm putting it in the dialer. Oh crap, now I need another phone number because this is another market. Buying another phone number. Oh crap, now I need another tracking. So gotta get a call rail. Okay, and it becomes like you're spending a lot of money to start a new market, first of all. And then you're doing that over and over and over again. If you pick one good market and get deep into that market and learn that market really well and make money in that market, and you have a good flow and systems to continue getting deals in that market, then go get a second one. I wholesaled in Cleveland for like 4 or 5 months, and I did a lot of deals in those 4 or 5 months before I moved on to my second market. And when I chose my second market, I chose one zip code in that market and I learned it really, really well. People who really succeed in wholesaling are people who know that market well. There's so many nuances when it comes to every city. Maybe that city has a hill where termites ate everything. And I learned this in Cleveland. Shout out Sean Hathaway from Cleveland. First, I'm going to mess it up, but he has a great inspection company, Frontline Home Inspections in Cleveland, Ohio, guys. Shout out. Sean told me about this hill in Cleveland that a bunch of termites messed up a bunch of the houses. So when he went to go check out a house, that was one of the things that he knew that I didn't know because I'm not from there. There's some areas where there's a bunch of flooding. So all these houses in this area are crap. And you're here getting deals, wasting your time in that area, deals no one's ever going to buy. So that's why it's important to get as deep into your market as you can. I'm so grateful that I learned Cleveland that well while I was doing Cleveland. I'm so grateful that I learned St. Louis that well while I was doing St. Louis. And I'm so grateful that now I work with a bunch of people who know their personal markets so well that we're able to close sellers based on the information that's actually happening in that market. So I really would prefer any of my students, you guys aren't my students, do whatever you want, but in my class, one market. You get one market, we have a spreadsheet that helps us calculate which the best markets are for us. We choose our top 3 and we focus on one. We market in that market, and if that doesn't work out, then we go to our backups. But one market. Where do you find your VAs? Upwork, Facebook, onlinejobs.ph. I don't like the Fiverr ones, but really just get out there and scout. Listen to their voices, listen to their personalities, and choose someone that you feel can talk to people similar to you. I have a whole webinar about sourcing, hiring, training your VAs. We did that free webinar. There was like 30 people on there. They got a ton of info. They loved it. And I forgot to press record. So that's why that's not up there anymore. I still have the presentation I did for it. So I'm going to end up doing it again, guys. Maybe next week, that'll be our live for next week. But that webinar will really help you guys. I do have a YouTube video about that right here. Virtual wholesaling, how to outsource, find VAs, cold callers. So this video right here, we will help you, Wanda. Outsourcing VAs and cold callers is the little picture right there. Can I marry you? No. Price, motivation, timeline, and what was the last one? Condition. So the condition of the property. Most importantly, foundation, roof, mechanicals, because cosmetic is what it is. Jerry Norton, I love his little chart that he has for estimating rehab. Literally, when I started cold calling, I had it up on my wall so that if a seller told me, oh, we need X, Y, and Z, I could just easily look at it and be like, okay, that'll be about 30 grand, give or take. So due to that, this is the price I need to be at. So I think he has an updated one for 2021, but telling you guys, YouTube, free game, Lay, is it better to use a local number for your target virtual market or does it matter? Yes, it definitely matters and it's definitely best to use a local number. Always use a local number. That's why if you're in multiple markets, it gets kind of tricky. I use Smart Dialer. Smart Dialer allows me to have multiple numbers and it allows me to say which numbers are going to be on which list. So that's why I love Smart Dialer for me being in like 4 markets. In 4 markets regularly and hopping in and out of other markets depending on my partners, you guys, my JV partners that I click with and start generating leads. We start doing deals together. Smart Dialer is awesome because it allows me to have different numbers for different markets. Tiffer found a house that has a reverse mortgage. The owner is deceased. HUD now owns the home. What can I do in that situation? So it depends on your state. In Nevada, HUD homes are only to be sold to home buyers in priority. If a home buyer doesn't want to buy it, an investor can make an offer, but it has to be an all cash deal. There's a lot of like weird stipulations. So talk to someone from HUD housing in your community, and they will tell you exactly what your situation is. You probably can't wholesale it based on my experience, but you might be able to. Jimenez said, if I wholesale virtually, will I need a title company from the state that I'm wholesaling? Yes. So you will need a title company, either a national title company that works virtually, like Chicago Title, which I won't say they're national, but they work in a bunch of markets that I am in. Title One Ohio also works in a bunch of markets that I am in. And or you can use a company that is local. It's really not hard to find a title company. Hop in a Facebook group, hit the search bar, type title company. Investor friendly title companies come up. Call a couple of them. It's super simple. But yeah, it's really important to have that. Yeah, someone really asked that. That was on YouTube. What are some tips on learning your own market? Gosh, so many. I mean, first start with YouTube, neighborhoods of Philly, neighborhoods of Miami, neighborhoods of whatever, and just learn the neighborhoods, narrow it down. Definitely talking to people is the biggest tip I have. Boots on the ground, wholesalers, agents. I literally spend at least 3-4 days of my virtual wholesale 30 program just hammering that in. Like, you guys got to talk to people. You guys got to talk to people. You got to spend as much time talking to people who are not sellers as you talk to sellers. So if you're spending 3 hours talking to sellers, I literally, when I started, would wake up at 6 a.m., talk to sellers till 1 p.m., and then talk to agents, wholesalers, boots on the ground until the evening. So I can learn as much as I can about those markets and I can learn as much as I can about the business. So that's the type of energy you need to put towards this. It has to become an obsession. It has to become your everything for you to really succeed because, pitter pattering is not going to do it. Do you know any site that'll transfer your current phone number to use with them? So CallRail is a good number that like you can use your number as a routing number, and you can create different numbers around your number to use for. You could have a different one for mailers. You could have a different one for cold calling. You can have a different one for texting. So awesome. I'm gonna spend like 5 more minutes talking to you guys doing this, and then I have to get ready for our virtual wholesale 30 class. We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 right now. I have been doing this virtual wholesale 30 program since November. It's awesome seeing people dedicate their life to something new, quitting their jobs, making tons and tons of money, changing their kids' lives, being able to buy crazy things for their kids, buy houses, do things for their families. I'm really dedicated to helping people as much as I am helping myself because I don't feel like this is a business that needs to be kept secret. There's tons of houses, you guys. This is the USA, and there's tons of people who need to sell, and there's tons of investors who need to buy. So we're helping. I also love building this network because I'm looking for properties myself, and knowing you guys only can help me, only can benefit me. Look at where we are, you guys. The sky is the limit. You can literally own that building that right there one day. There's nothing stopping you or me from owning real estate like this. This is what we see. We all follow the same stuff. I know you guys follow Grant Cardone. I know you guys follow all Ryan Pineda. I know you guys follow all the people that I follow and who show us that you can go from being a broke nobody to owning things like this. And we're all on this ladder and we're all leveling up. And sometimes you guys are going to need me to help pull you up. And sometimes I'm going to need you guys to help pull me up. Sometimes you're going to need to throw a bone. Sometimes I'm going to need to throw a bone. So this is community. I really want to have a virtual wholesale community. I want to have this accountability. We do these accountability Zooms. We started this week and it's awesome. And I think it's just going to grow and be better and better the more people that are in there. So Virtual Wholesale 30, the program, I'll show you guys what it is. And basically the first 2 weeks, we pick your market, we establish your presence, build the cash buyers list, do everything that you need to start the framework of your business. The second 2 weeks, we're marketing. So right now, students are marketing, sending texts, calls, talking to sellers, getting deals under contract. 2 contracts yesterday. Just facts. This is stuff that's happening. People quit their jobs, people buying houses, people buying their dream cars, people changing their lives. I'm changing my life. I'm not stopping wholesaling ever. I will always direct to seller market till the day I die, because you can literally set a campaign, $1,000 a month forever for the rest of your life. Why would I ever stop doing that? Why would I ever stop networking with people like you guys? You being able to find great real estate deals is always going to be an amazing, amazing skill to have. So second 2 weeks, we dive in. We go on live every Tuesday and Thursday throughout the whole 4 weeks. We always meet, and then we always have our accountability. So it's a 4-week program. I was traditionally starting it at the beginning of every month. So I was starting it on July 1st, April 1st, starting on the 1st of the month. And I was having a classroom of people, 10 people, and really doing that like that, because I felt like everyone starting at the same time would make a difference and would help, because it would kind of be like school. When you were in school, we all started at the same time. We had the same curriculum. But what I realized with this program is that not everybody is on the same page and not everybody is able to work at the same pace. So what I'm doing now is I'm not going to be doing a class starting July 1st, a class starting August 1st, a class starting September 1st. Instead, you can sign up whenever you want, go at your own pace. Whether you're on week 1 or week 4, it doesn't matter. We're going to have the 2 lives twice a week, going to get your questions addressed just like this, face to face. Still going to limit it because I don't want there to be so many people on there that I can't answer all the questions in the time we have. So it's still going to be limited. But you start when you want, you do your 4 weeks, and then you can stay in our accountability Zoom, in our accountability group forever. So guys, it's www.virtualwholesale30.com. I'll put it in this YouTube. Go on there, sign up. If you guys can't sign up right now, I do have like $100 crash course, and I do have this program without the lives as well. So just reach out to me. I will get you where you need to be to start building your business up. And I just definitely want to make sure I touch on that. That dude, James, I'm definitely trying to JV land deal in Texas. Let me know. I have a lot of Texas buyers. And again, I have that broker. So if it's buildable, let's talk about it. I really can't say what the best top 3 markets are, honestly. There's a bunch of YouTube videos where people say like, this is the best market, that's the best market. I don't believe the hype. You got to like really research and figure out what's going to work for you. I'm going to answer one more question right here from Instagram. Where do you find the best cash buyers or hedge fund buyers? So, I mean, single family, 3-2 markets, expensive or more expensive markets, 250,000 plus, 200,000 in that area. Areas like that are good for hedge funds because hedge funds are pretty much just betting on appreciation. So they pay a little bit more in order to get assets that are going to appreciate, because their members just need to make a little bit of money over time. Hedge funds are really backing out right now because the market's different. It's changing. So a lot of cash buyers are back in the game right now. So I won't say that, to go just looking for hedge funds. I think that was big in 2021, but times change. I think right now is a really good time to get back with your cash buyers. really lock in with your cash buyers, figure out what they want, and look for those type of deals. That's what I've been doing, and I think that's a better strategy than looking for hedge funds, because a lot of hedge funds have just backed out in the past 4 or 5 weeks. And I do JV in any market. So you guys DM me JV or hit that partner with me link in the bio. Send me deals. I will help you get them sold. After this and after our class, our virtual wholesale 30 class, I actually have a deal in St. Louis that I gotta make some calls because I have a few buyers that are waiting to talk to me about this deal in St. Louis. That is a JV deal. Shout out Justin. He was on another live and we connected and we're gonna do this deal. I have another JV deal going on in Akron with my guy Chris, and got a few JV deals going with my guy Steve in Georgia. So let's get them done. I'm super excited about the rest of the summer, super excited about the rest of 2022. Let's make the most of it, you guys. Please, all this info is totally free. So support my support for you by using my links to get Propstream, by using my links to get your dialer, by using my links to get your Skiptracing, because that will pay me and I will be happy and I will do this more. So let's be in symbiosis, guys. I will see you guys next week, Tuesday, same time, 11 a.m., YouTube, Facebook. Oh, the J and the V means for joint venture. I don't like saying co-wholesaling, so that's why I say JV. And so many more questions are coming in right now, but I gotta go because we got our class session, we got our class live, and we'll be back next week though. So don't worry. Get on my website, www.virtualwholesale30.com. Links in my bio. Use my links, guys. I love you, and I will see you guys next week. And thank you for making this first weekly webinar awesome. This was better than I expected, and here it next week to give you guys more game.